10th of April today, and what I'm going to show you today are some Cantaloupe melon seeds, how to sow those. These are the last of the ones that Chuck Fenster very kindly sent to me. They grow very well, I tend to find, but getting fruit on melons in the UK is incredibly difficult. I'm going to use these, and if nothing happens this year with regards to fruit, then I'm afraid I'm just going to give up with melons. I've only once or twice got really nice fruit off melons, but they were no bigger than like the size of an orange. We just don't get the heat around here. It's incredibly annoying. So I'm going to try for the very last time on the Cantaloupe melons, and if I don't get any fruit from them, then I'll most probably never grow melons again, unless somebody can invent one that will grow in a colder climate. The other things I'm going to sow, now I know I've already sown some sweet pepper seeds before, already this year, and these are the ones that I sowed before. I sowed these about 5-6 weeks ago, I guess. You tend to find that chilli and pepper seeds need the heat to start germinating, and when I first sowed these it wasn't very hot, even though it was fairly warm in the greenhouse, but it just wasn't warm enough for them. So over the last couple of weeks they've started to come up, which is great. But that's one variety, and this is another variety I'm going to sow. They're called cool peppers. Now quite a few of you have said, where are these brown packets from? They're from Pennard Plants. Okay, they do all sorts, you can find them online. So first of all I'll show you how to sow the cantaloupe seeds, and then I will show you how to sow the sweet pepper seeds. Okay, so I'm going to start the cantaloupe melons off in one of my little seed trays. So just fill it nearly to the top full of multi-purpose compost. It doesn't need to be anything special, just what you can get hold of, and just gently pat it down like that so it's nice and level. And then what we need to do now is we need to give that compost a nice water. Now wait for the water to soak through, and then you can start sowing your melon seeds. Now melon seeds come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. These are the cantaloupe ones. Okay, don't be in a hurry to sow your melon seeds. They need heat to grow. So until it's warmed up where you are, I would suggest just waiting, okay, unless of course you've got a heated greenhouse or you want to start them off on a sunny windowsill. Now I'm going to plant all of these because this is the last of them, so just space them apart about, I mean, if I was just doing this not to use them all up, I would most probably sow about 12 in here. But as I want to use all of these up, I'm going to see if I can squeeze them all in. So I'll actually be putting them slightly closer than I would normally. If I was doing the 12, I would space them about an inch apart from each other. I might end up having 2 trays actually. That one's not. This one is very flat. Okay, it's not what we call viable, which means it won't grow. So there's no point sowing that one. You know if they're viable because they're very firm. Okay, you can feel that there's something inside. Okay, so I'll carry on sowing these and just popping them on the top of the compost, and then I'll come back to you when I'm done. Right, well there they are. They're a little closer than as I say, I would normally do them. If you've got fairly large seeds, much larger than this, then I would suggest planting them on their side like this, okay, like the same we did with the squash seeds, but because these are quite small, I'm just going to lay them flat down. Now when you've put all your seeds in, then just cover them with a little bit of compost. If you're sowing these and it's still a little on the cold side, or you're in a heated greenhouse, then I would suggest putting a propagator lid over the top. But if it's warmed up sufficiently where you are and frosts aren't due at night, then I would suggest not putting a propagator lid on top. It's the weather at the moment in the UK is not too bad. When the sun comes out, it's beautiful and warm, and the nights get down to about 4 or 5 degrees, so I'm not going to bother. They should be fine in the greenhouse, but these should start popping through in hopefully a couple of weeks. Now on to the pepper seeds, the sweet peppers. Again, we'll just fill this little tray with compost and level it off, pat it down and give it a water. Now these pepper seeds apparently are they're mixed varieties, so hopefully we should get lots of different shapes and sizes and colours, but they are all sweet peppers. None of them are spicy and hot. So these are the pepper seeds. As you can see, they look very similar. They're just slightly different colours, but you'll find this with most pepper seeds and with chilli seeds. They're all roughly the same size, but they just ever so slightly vary in colour. So I'll just sprinkle these on top of the compost. It doesn't really matter about spacing, but if you have got a couple that are on top of each other, or what you think are far too close, then just shift them over. Now I have got a couple that I think are just a little bit too close, so I'm just going to move this one over here, and I'm just going to scooch that one just over there. But they are nice and evenly spread apart from each other, and then I will just sprinkle a little bit of compost on the top, and again hopefully these should come through, because now it's warmed up. These should come through in about 2 weeks time. But once you've sown your seeds, make sure that you label them both so you know what they are when they come up. And I'll keep you updated on their progress. I won't water these for a couple of days because the compost underneath is nice and damp, and some of that water will soak up to the top, and it will keep the seeds fine, just a little bit damp for the next couple of days. Make sure that you don't overwater your seeds because they will rot and they will die. Right, so that's those two done, the melons and the sweet peppers done. I will keep the sweet peppers under a propagator lid, just because they need just a little bit of extra warmth just to come through. But if it's nice and warm day and night where you live, then you won't need to bother. But it just depends what your temperatures are like. But I will keep you updated on their progress, and hopefully in a couple of weeks they'll start to come through, and I'll be able to show you how they're getting on. Well, I hope you found that interesting, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.